Namaste. A very warm welcome to all my dear students. Myself, JVN Dr. Hemant Vyas, Associate Professor and Head of Department of Surgery, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. In today's session, we are going to discuss about various diseases of nose. The name of session is rhinitis, and in today's session we will discuss about various classification of rhinitis and what questions can be asked on rhinitis. We will discuss that, and we are also going to discuss about various types of classification of rhinitis. Then we will discuss about important topic that is common cold, which is a day-to-day which you will face in day-to-day practice. So it is important from your practice as well as your exam point of view. So let's study about the definition of rhinitis. So rhinitis is basically made up of two words. First is rhina and itis. So rhina is used for any disease which is concerned with the nose. It has suffix rhina, and itis means inflammation. So inflammation of nose is called as rhinitis, but more specifically inflammation of nasal mucous membrane is called as rhinitis. Okay, so for definition we will study about inflammation of nasal mucous membrane. Now what are the classification of the rhinitis? So in rhinitis the diseases are classified broadly in two parts, that is infectious rhinitis as well as non-infectious rhinitis. So infectious rhinitis, it is again classified into acute as well as chronic rhinitis, whereas non-infectious rhinitis is again classified into allergic rhinitis and vasomotor rhinitis. Okay, so I will repeat this again. The rhinitis, its classification, it is divided broadly into two subcategories. First category is infectious rhinitis and second category is non-infectious rhinitis. Okay, so infectious rhinitis is again classified into acute and chronic rhinitis, whereas the non-specific is again divided into allergic and vasomotor rhinitis. Okay, so these are the broad classification. Then again we will go in detail. So acute rhinitis, which is acute infectious rhinitis. Okay, so it is again divided into specific and non-specific rhinitis. The example of non-specific acute infectious rhinitis is common cold. Okay, this non-specific, and specific acute acute infectious rhinitis is the example is diphtheria. Okay, now again acute is specific and non-specific, where in the same situation the chronic is again classified into specific and non-specific rhinitis. So chronic specific rhinitis is caused due to some specific diseases or specific bacteria or specific viruses or funguses. Okay, so it has a particular cause, whereas non-specific do not have one particular cause. It may be idiopathic, or it may have unknown etiology, or it may be because of some unknown causes. Okay, so let's see chronic specific rhinitis. In that most important is rhinosporidiosis, rhinoscleroma, then some fungal infections like aspergillosis, then leprosy, and tuberculosis. Okay, syphilis is also classified under chronic specific rhinitis. Then moving forward, the classification is chronic non-specific. So in non-specific we have chronic simple rhinitis, hypertrophic, chronic hypertrophic rhinitis, chronic atrophic rhinitis, rhinitis sicca, and rhinitis caseosa. Okay, so these are the classification of infectious rhinitis. Now moving forward to non-infectious rhinitis, which is the other half of classification. So non-infectious rhinitis is again divided into two: allergic rhinitis and vasomotor rhinitis. So there is a minute difference, but the symptoms look alike in allergic as well as vasomotor rhinitis, but it has some minute differences. Like allergic rhinitis is because of exposure to any allergen, and it is because of type 1 hypersensitivity reaction, whereas vasomotor rhinitis is because of disturbance in the or imbalance in the autonomic nervous system. Okay, the symptoms are similar, like sneezing, blocking of nose, rhinorrhea, but the basic pathology or causes are different in both types. Then allergic rhinitis is again classified into seasonal and perennial allergic rhinitis. The perennial is that which occurs once in a year, whereas the seasonal is that occurs in every change of weather or because of exposure to the allergen. Whenever the person get exposed to the allergen, that time that person gets affected because of the there is severe attack or sudden severe attack of the allergic rhinitis when the person is exposed to the allergen. So this is the classification. There are lots of there are lots of this classification subclasses. Okay. Then first disease that we are going to discuss about in this rhinitis chapter is the common cold. Okay, so what is a common cold? The common cold is one of the most common acute infections which affect our body. Okay, so it is the most common infection which affect our body. Then what are the causes of this common cold? Common cold has many causes. It is multifactorial, like age. So it may be in any age person can be affected because of common cold. Then sex, then male and female both are equally affected. There is no such differentiation. Then causative organism is most important in this, and the causative organism are mostly viruses. Okay, so these viruses, where they come from or where they spread from. The viruses of common cold, they generally spread due to direct contact or because of airborne droplets. Okay, so direct contact means if the person is sneezing or coughing and the droplets come on that person's hand, and if we shake hand with that person or if we use hanky or any utensil used by that person, that time the viruses can spread from that person or to the person who is now handling those instruments or utensils. Okay, so what are the then droplet infection? That means if the person is sneezing or coughing, that time the droplets from nasopharynx and oropharynx can spread up to a certain limit, and if any person is in contact with that person, that means is in vicinity of 6 feet. Okay, then in the area of 6 feet that person can spread the infection. Okay, so that's why it is said that in corona, which is also a droplet infection, it is advised to keep or maintain the distance of 6 feet. Okay, and same thing is applicable in common cold also, that we should maintain a distance of 6 feet to avoid getting infected by the viruses. So what are the viruses which are responsible for development of common cold? These viruses are influenza virus, rhinovirus and adenovirus. Okay, these three viruses are important viruses for development of common cold. Then there is also infection of secondary bacteria. Okay, how these secondary bacteria affect? These secondary bacteria can affect if the person is previously infected with these viruses. Okay, so the person gets vulnerable to the bacteria now, and there is invasion of secondary bacteria like streptococcus, staphylococcus, pneumococcus. These are the opportunistic bacteria which invade the affected area very rapidly. Then clinical features. The clinical feature is divided into 4 stages. So first stage is the stage of ischemia. Second stage is hyperemic stage. Third stage is stage of secondary infection, and fourth stage is stage of recovery or resolution. Okay, so let's study what happens in the stage of ischemia. So generally the incubation period of these viruses, that is influenza virus or adenovirus, rhinovirus, is short, and it is about 1 to 3 days. Okay, so in this incubation period there is no symptom, but when the symptom starts, that is after 1 to 3 days, what happens? Initially there is ischemia, that is burning inside the nose or our oropharynx, along with irritation and dryness inside the throat and nose. Then there is sneezing, attack of sneezing, which is because of irritation inside the nose. Then shivering and malaise may also develop in the stage of ischemia. The second stage is stage of hyperemia. Now what happens in the stage of hyperemia? In this there is rhinorrhea, that is excessive watery discharges from the nose. Okay, it is called as rhinorrhea. So rhinorrhea is of profuse character. Profuse watery fluid flows from nose. It is in stage of hyperemia. Then there is blocking of nose. Okay, when the patient is lying down, patient is in sleep, at that time there is blocking of nose. Then anosmia, because of blocking of nose, the smelling sensation cannot reach the olfactory area, which is located on the superior surface. So because of that there is anosmia. Then patient may also suffer from mild to moderate fever and headache. Okay, so because of the irritation or malaise, there is headache which is also present. Then third stage is stage of secondary infection. Okay, so as we have discussed, opportunistic bacteria like streptococcus, staphylococcus, they may invade and they may cause the secondary infection. And if the secondary infection occurs, then there is yellowish discharge from the nose, and it will take generally a longer time to recover if there is secondary infection. Fourth stage is stage of resolution or stage of recovery. In this stage, all the symptoms gradually decrease and patient may recover within 1 or 2 weeks, or generally we say the patient recovers within 5 to 10 days. Okay, so this is all about clinical features of common cold. Then differential diagnosis, we have to differentiate it with allergic rhinitis. So in cases of allergic rhinitis, the attack is recurrent, and in this the person has history of exposure to allergen, which brings out the sneezing. In this the fever and other symptoms are absent. Then in cases of influenza rhinitis is more severe the symptoms are more intensified than the common cold and it takes more time to recover. We can also differentiate it with corona. In corona, symptoms mostly throat and lungs are affected, whereas in common cold, nose, nasopharynx and oral cavity or oropharynx are mostly affected. Then as far as treatment is concerned, we can use analgesics, we can use antibiotics, antihistamines, vitamin C may be used, but it has not sure results. Then generalized rest and warmth is important for the patient. Then locally we can use local decongestants and steam inhalation can be advised to the patient. So this is about treatment of common cold. What homeopathic medicines you can use for common cold? Homeopathy, we can use arsenic alb, bryonia, gelsemium, ferrum phos, camphor and other medicines. Okay. So what questions can be asked in exam for this rhinitis? So in exam question can be asked on classification, definition of rhinitis, and any one question or any one type of the rhinitis can be asked, like atrophic rhinitis or common cold. Okay. So generally this topic which we have learned today, that is common cold, can be asked for short notes only. Okay. So that's it from the today's presentation. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.